for a deeper understanding on this development in South Sudan, we talked to David Otto-Endeley. He's the Director on Security for the Horn of Africa Institute for Peace and Security. He cautioned that while this was indeed a notable step in the peace process, a lot depends on how the latest agreement will be implemented.
Of course, this is a giant step towards one direction. For President Salva Kiir and the Vice President Riek Machar to come to an agreement on actually unifying the military command. This is very strategic, but as we know, in the case of South Sudan, it has not been the lack of agreement, as we saw in the 2018 peace agreement. It has always been the challenge in terms of effective implementation. So, for example, in this case, it therefore means, one would have to, see how many senior military or security officials from the president's side will give way. The tendency has always been to expand, military positions, increase the number of generals. But again, there's also the cost implication. There is also the implication of, training and payments and all this stuff. So while this agreement is seen as a great leap forward, towards stability in South Sudan, one must be very clear that this is just one step, and we're still to see the package in terms of how this is going to be implemented. We remember that South Sudan is marking an election in 2023, and we're still to see the drafting of a new constitution that will be agreed by both sides. That's the President Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, who is the Vice President. But there are also outstanding issues in terms of leadership of key government institutions. For example, also in the case of the parliament. But remember, more looking at the general population, South Sudan is actually facing huge level of poverty, hunger, which the UN has made it very clear that it's facing a huge humanitarian crisis. It's one of the most expensive US missions, in the world, costing over $1 billion. So there's still issue of the economy there. Clashes in the Upper Nile, have not been resolved as part of this new agreement, but also issues of corruption. So, there are so many outstanding issues that, will, in a comprehensive sense, add upon the new agreement to see some peace and stability. But again, it's down to President Salva Kiir and Riek Machar to be honest and sincere and look into the stability of South Sudan for the general good of the country.